There we go. Alrighty. So this is a very special episode for me. I don't know how many people are going to be coming in, but I'm just going to leave this open for a little bit. So before I get into what's been happening, I want to wish everyone, I have to backdate a little bit. I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year, a Merry Christmas, Happy Yule. What else? Samhain. I don't think I came on for Samhain, so it has been a while. So I want to hold space. I'm using my laptop. I had to switch the camera that I was using because it just wasn't working with the setup that I have. So for those who are coming in, I'm going to hide this basket because it's going to really bother me. So for those who are going to be watching the playback, I've disappeared for a while, and mainly to reassess a lot of things. And part of this thing is where to go with this channel. And, clearly where is my heart when it comes to creating content. I don't want to come across that I've been lazy in creating content, but I haven't been able to focus on content because of responsibilities of, paying bills and unexpected expenses, stuff like that. So it has been hard to really focus on the content. So I pop in every now and then, to put up something, but you really have to remain consistent. So I'm looking to many different things. One of the things that I want to focus on, and I've spoken to a few readers at the shop and some other people. I want to start doing courses. I want to start teaching courses about various aspects of the tarot. Now, there's quite a few online courses that are out there already, dealing with magic, witchcraft, tarot, all of this. So, I'm looking at where I am right now, and ideally what I would like to have. So I would be lying if I wouldn't say that I am looking for numbers. Okay. I think numbers are very important. And numbers, I'm talking about people who come to the channel, and people who remain with the channel, or follow through my content. And that's all on me as well. Okay. So, the stick-to-itiveness of people comes with how much I'm putting out there as well. So if I'm not putting hardly anything out there, of course, people are just going to tune out and they're going to go to other places. So it's all up here. I have a rough draft as to what I would like to do with courses. Emerald Buddha, how are you? How are you? Janine, I don't know if you're still here. It shows that you came in at 5:33. Lady K, Black Magic Society. So yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about my feelings about what's happening in Los Angeles. Not that you can't get a sense of it by just watching what's happening in the news. So yeah, I want to focus on courses. That rings very strongly for me. And then if some of you have noticed or not, I haven't changed it here. I've explored Facebook. Didn't like it. I've done Instagram. it's over the top. I haven't done TikTok. I have no interest in TikTok. YouTube. Okay, so I've done YouTube. YouTube, I felt was a very, oh, honey, you are in Los Angeles. Oh, wow. Um, um, and so YouTube, I felt I'm gonna get to Los Angeles in a moment, as I mentioned. I'm thinking about everyone. So YouTube, I felt was a perfect outlet for me. Pandemic, we're locked down. What else are we going to do? We're going to call, we're going to spend more time on the computer. Okay, then things opened up and things changed and I moved, so on and so forth. But I'm finding the amount of content that is on YouTube regarding tarot and so on and so forth it's just over the top. It's overwhelming. And I could see where people are creating content for the sake of just let's get people to their channel, and that's cool and all. But I did mention earlier, numbers are important, but it's also quality of content. And, I'm at a point right now where I am thinking out of the box, okay, of how to approach these things. So right now what I'm talking about is where I want to go with this, where I want to go with YouTube. So I mentioned a minute or two ago, I've changed the name of this channel because the one thing I haven't explored is podcasts. And Debbie 777, hi, how are you? So I'm hoping people from the West Coast are coming in and can tune in and support what's happening right now down south. So I'm going to be jumping back and forth like this as people come in. Good, excellent. So I want to look into podcasting a little bit. I know I've been reading the pros and cons of podcasting versus YouTube. YouTube does involve a lot more work because there's editing, there's face, right? So we got to have nice lighting, so on and so forth. The audio needs to be good. There's all those variables. And as I mentioned, I have not been able to create content because of, outside responsibilities. I'm supporting myself. I don't have a husband. I don't have anything of that nature that, that I can focus on this and, still make income and have someone else bringing in bread and butter. So it's hard. It's really hard to do this focus. So I want to change it. I want everything of the past of what I've done in YouTube to where I am right now. I want to clean up. I want this to be all cleaned up. So yes, I've been looking at podcasts, looking at some of the top podcasters, Rogan and Alex Cooper, and looking at their content. And also there's a generational difference between those two podcasters. I want to see if there's a niche in there. There's a lot of stuff out there about the tarot that's podcasts and whatnot. So I want to see what is missing. What is missing? Okay. And I would like to be very direct. I don't want it to be sugar-coated because that's how I am with my readings. So whatever I end up doing with a podcast, it's going to be very direct. It may ring some hands, like get people in a little bit of a tizzy. But that's what communication is all about. We want to know what the other person is thinking, saying, how they feel about things, and not worrying about, things like, okay, the hair, something that's on the face. Podcasts I like because it's faceless, and I do have the option, of course, and I will look into that, to doing YouTube podcasts, where basically I am doing a podcast, but also people are seeing what's going on. So lots of different perspectives about how to handle where to take this content. So I didn't want people to think that I did drop the ball, even though I did. There's a time and a place for things when we move on, and where we're going to go with this. So for anyone who watches this as they're passing by and they're wondering what this is all about, I appreciate your support. So I'm looking at creating courses online, maybe making it more advanced, and maybe giving away. I spoke to someone at the shop that I do readings at who is pretty good with her social content. There's not a moment that she isn't away with her phone doing something. She suggested about possibly giving away like a free class, so people could get a taste of, how I teach, what I'm going to teach. They can meet me. It's going to be very interactive, feedback from both sides. It's not going to be, part of it's going to be, I'm going to tell you, I want you to learn, but I need engagement. Okay. I need more engagement. I need I need feedback. I love the emoticons, but when it comes to courses, emoticons and happy faces, that's not going to pass you. So there's going to be a strong emphasis on communication. And that's where I'm leaning again with that podcast. I want to get people's feedback on whatever the topic is. So that's where I am. I have my decks here. I'm going to get to Los Angeles in a moment. So anyone who's watching this and they are based in Los Angeles, refer them to this live right now to let them know that, there is someone. I'm not in Los Angeles, but there is someone who is formerly from there and feels the effects of what's happening right at this very moment. But I have 3 decks, and I've been working with small decks. I call them pint-sized decks. I'm gonna look at the comments here in a moment. I just got to get stuff off my chest. I have 3 decks here. They're all small, and these are the ones that I'm going to be reading with. And I'm going to talk about some of the links that I put in the description for people that want to donate, help. And I varied it. There are so many. You could go through the Red Cross as well. Red Cross, I hear great things. I hear some not so great things about it, but use your discretion, and so the links that I put in the description are the ones that I just immediately felt just to help out. There's just 3 there for the meantime. So the decks I have here, the small version of the Dreams of Gaia. I'm going small. I'm feeling like I need to do more cards. Okay. And this is our Tabula Mundi. I'm not going to be reading with the Tello 777. I'm feeling small. I'm feeling like small-sized decks. And then the small version of our Wild Unknown. So if anyone wants a reading, you are welcome to leave a tip, or if you want to put money towards one of the causes that I placed in the description, please do so. Or if you like, the money that I get from this proceeds, I can invest into one of those. It's entirely up to you. Okay. But I wanted to place face here to show that I'm thinking about Los Angeles, which is going to segue into my relationship with Los Angeles. I was born on the East Coast, but I was raised in Orange County in Los Angeles, and lived in various areas of Southern California, with the exception of San Diego. And so LA has been a very influenced, important part of my life. No matter where you go, if you leave your city, you're going to still take those influences with you. And so in the time that I've been away from Los Angeles, which is coming up to be about 3 years, and just seeing what has been happening is hard. I've been using the words over and over again: heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, devastating, and I think partly for the fact that um, I'm not there. And I did tickle with the idea of but maybe just driving over it down to Los Angeles, but that doesn't help. There's a zone, when there's an area that's going through disaster, the last thing they need is outside sources coming in, with the exception of the firefighters. There are hundreds, probably thousands of volunteers right now that are just wanting to help within the city. So I feel by just doing something like this, putting the links so you can leave a donation if you like, to help out, spread the word, that people are in need. The fires aren't done yet. Some of them have simmered down. The Eaton fire has gone down, but as we know, the Palisades ones, I think last I was reading, it's moving in the direction of Sherman Oaks. So we have Malibu. I can't believe moon shadows, and there's one other place that's not coming to me right now. It's completely gone. Anyhow, you have Malibu here, and then we have the ocean. So some of you may have seen the photos where basically the fire went almost right to the shoreline where homes were, and those homes are gone. So with the fire moving back, it's moving away from the water, but it's going towards the valley. That means it's moving over to the other side. The winds are changing direction. And so it's burning more in that direction, Thousand Oaks. So, everyone in those areas who have property, Agora Hills, Silmar, Simi Valley, they're standing still. Yeah, I know, Emerald Buddha. It's, yeah. So the fires are still going, and it's good to see in the news that some of you know, some of you may not know, I'm in Oregon, and states of Oregon, Washington, Utah, Idaho, Colorado, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, basically half of the states on the West Coast, Montana, I believe, are coming down, to help, because that fire is just intense. So it's wonderful to see, outside sources coming in to show the support. I live in a state where, in Southern Oregon, the town of Talent, about 4.5 years ago, almost burned down. Oregon was having a really hard time with fires about 4.5 years ago, basically short of the entire state, but most of the state, from the northern part of Oregon, central and southern Oregon, was aflame. There were just fires going all over the place. And so there's that support that comes from that. And I'm certain these towns that were affected by these fires in Oregon are feeling the trigger effects of what they went through, and I don't know if I should even say I'm grateful, but in a sense, I am, that I wasn't directly affected by these fires. The one of many, but the one sad news that I did get was before I left Los Angeles to move up to the mountains in Southern California. I lived in Altadena, and I lived basically right at the foothills, like a few blocks up, and the foothills are there. So when I heard that Altadena was one of the areas, the Eaton fire area, I contacted my old landlord and asked him, what's the status of of the property there that I was living on. He owned it, and he lived just, I think, a few blocks away from it. So he got back to me. He sent me a video, and the property's completely burned down. And he did like a 360-degree view, and it's like, wow, that's the driveway that I drove in. That's the structure of the carports. That's where I parked my car. You can't even see the remains of a house that's there. I couldn't even see where my room was. My room was facing the driveway, but it's ashes. And there's a trailer, there's a streamlined trailer that was on the property. You can't see anything. And so that's gone. And I replied back to him, sending him my thoughts and condolences. Another loss, not with me, not that was an indirect loss, but I still spent time there while I was transitioning to move up to the mountains. I don't know if some of you know this artist. I put her link. There's a GoFundMe page. Liz Huston. She's the creator of the DreamKeepers Tarot. She had it as a Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and the deck did very well. And then she was able to do a reprint, and now she's on, I believe, US Games. I didn't know she was in Altadena until I was on Instagram, and it was like either the second or third post that I saw. She lost everything. She lost her artwork. She had a collectible of, she had like a cabinet of curios, like with bones and stuff like that, places that she's traveled to. So she was on the property. She was able to salvage some stuff. So her link is there, Liz Huston. She's getting the support that she needs. People are coming out, and to get her started, that GoFundMe is moving in the right direction for her. She lost her computer. She lost her hard drive, all that. Everything's gone. She has her cat. And Liz, I've met a few times. And then when I moved up to the mountains, we just kept in touch, email. And this isn't, we don't want to wish anything like this upon anyone, let alone someone whose livelihood is through the arts. So yeah, Liz Huston is one of the people who took a hard hit, creator of the DreamKeepers Tarot. So if you have that deck in your collection, or want to see what it is, you could go to her website, Liz Huston, Huston. I'll type it here. LizHuston.com. There you go. And you could see her work, some beautiful work that she has. All right, let me take a breather here for a moment. You have a high vibe channel and readings. Most people want the superficial, which is fine, but it's mundane and circular. Yeah. It's something that's quick. People really want quick readings, and and when you do readings like that, it almost becomes a form of entertainment after a while. It's just like, okay, let me ask again and again. I was part of that tarot ethics discussion last month, and we talked about the different reading styles that people have, and how some of it's just quick, cut and dried. There's your answer, and time to move on. There are some excellent readers out there, that are doing their best to send messages out. So just keep doing the work, and let's just work through whatever needs to be done to send our messages out. So I want to turn the tables a little bit for a moment. So like I said, so I could take a minute and I could start doing some readings. All right. This is very last minute. I posted this a few hours ago, so I don't know who's going to stick around, but if I'm able to get some donations from people, I will place it into one of those 3 links that I have, or you can feel free to do so if I do a reading for you, if you want to do a donation. So the links that I have are for, one is for the firefighters, the funds, to help with the budget of the Los Angeles Fire Department, from which if I heard correctly or read correctly, was substantially cut by Mayor Bass. And a lot of people are very upset at her because that cut in the firemen's funds also caused the release of some firefighters. Now, one thing I know, when disasters happen like this, I have people who may have a background or who used to be firefighters can obviously step in and help out as much as they can. And I believe that is the case right now. But, this wall of fire that's happening is just too much for, a cut of all things in the firefighters' budget. So I want to just let people know, to help out as much as you can. Okay. The common thing that I've been seeing on social media is everyone support each other. Everyone help each other out. Okay. Whether it's just talking, giving food, so on and so forth. The more I think about this, the more I wish I was there. But I'm here, and this is where I'm supposed to be, unless called elsewhere. Hollywood Hills caught on fire, but it was saved. I think a little bit of Runyon Canyon got burned, which is a popular trail for hiking up in the Hollywood Hills. The Hollywood sign is fine. Studio City, I believe the fire is gone, like it's contained. So for those who are watching and they live in any of these areas that are affected, let me know what you're seeing. We have to be careful with the media and what it reports. Okay. And it's hard, especially when there's something so destructive like this that's going on. And we hear the term, there's been conflicting reports. People jumping the gun and people saying one thing and it's not happening. People are saying something that, isn't happening, but it is happening. And it's just so much misinformation. So we have to be careful with this. Yeah. Alrighty. So I have a small group of you here. If any of you would like me to do a reading, okay, just let me know, catch my attention, put it in caps, your question. No third-party readings. Third-party readings are when you want me to read about someone else, nothing predictive. Let's focus on this reading about you, okay, and what's going on. How are we feeling about 2025? What are some of the goals, inspirations that you have? Astrologically, this is going to be a kickin' year for a lot of us. A lot of us are going to be feeling changes, if not already. I'm definitely feeling, I'm not seeing it, but I'm feeling like a push, not a shove, but I'm feeling like a bulldozer that's pushing me in a direction that I need to work on. So let me know what's going on with you. What are your plans for 2025? Yeah, it's disheartening that the mayor and here, I forgot I'm doing on StreamYard. Um, and then fire chief are made to show disagreement with each other. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't quite understand what was going on at that time. I heard that she was in Africa, to take part in this, I think, in either a birthday or inauguration of one of the political figures in Africa, and she didn't come. She didn't return during the time of the fires. Um, and she wasn't making any comments or anything like this, so she's coming across as someone who's cold. Um, but, the fire chief, I see this is conflicting reports. I heard that the fire chief, is not fired. She's still on board. I can't keep track of that, because, especially there's gonna be a lot of finger pointing. I went through this when my father was in Puerto Rico and Maria came in and basically did a lot of destruction on that island. Um, and and our POTUS at the time was there, and it just wasn't looking good at all. So that's one thing that I think a lot of us are going to be looking at when POTUS, President of the United States, comes into office in less than 10 days. How is this going to be handled? You know, um, it's when times of distress, this is where people really have to show and stand up and let's see what you're really made of. Are you really that strong? Are you really everything that you talked about? The same with Newsom. Um, yeah, yeah, Los Angeles, a city that uh, I want to say can never win, but when it gets ahead, there's always something that comes down and punches it back down. It's similar to New York. New York is strong. You know, the the World Trade Center, my goodness, you know, people stick together, you know. So we have different generations now, so it's going to be very interesting to see where everyone is standing on this. Um, let me see here. She and Mayor Bass. Okay, a united front. Okay. Yeah, that's what I last heard, um that she is still there. So I don't know, miscommunication. I think it's people that just again jumped the gun and said, "Oh, this person's fired. This should not have happened." Um, is America going to step down? It's all of this stuff, and it makes when you live in a city like that, um, just like, how is everything going to be run? How is this going to be done? You know, So lucky that Los Angeles hasn't been hit with an earthquake. That's the thing that everyone was talking about, but instead it's been fires and flooding for the state, So, I no more. No more. This is gonna really take the city economically back quite a ways. People are already talking that rent is gonna go up. I don't know. This is when stuff like this happens, when the earthquake happened, the Northridge earthquake, I moved down months after it happened, and they were still getting the aftershocks, and they did have a small earthquake tied into that. And when I was looking for a place, because I was moving from the Bay Area down to Los Angeles, um, landlords could not even rent apartments. No one wanted to live in these areas because they were scared that, something like that was going to happen to them. And um, rent was dirt cheap. I got a place almost 1,000 square feet. Okay, mind you, this is 1994. Northridge earthquake happened, I think, February of that year. 900 square feet, almost 1,000 square feet. One bedroom, had a parking spot right in Hollywood. $650. Okay. And there was rent even lower than that in that area at that time, and landlords couldn't even get their properties rented. So I'll be curious to see. Maybe, I don't know, it makes no sense to increase rent. I think what needs to happen is if there's an exodus of people who are leaving, and there's a good chance that a lot of people are going to be displaced, they're going to probably go outside of the area. I feel it's going to drive rental real estate properties downward because of that. Hi, Cheyenne. Hi, thank you for coming in and listening. So, these are some things that I've thought about, and just seeing what's going to happen to the market. When lockdown happened, rent didn't really go up. Rent just kind of stayed where it is, and it did drop in some areas. And eventually it does go up as recovery takes place. But it's just one of these things that I think about. And I'm not the only one who's left Los Angeles. There's been quite a few ex Los Angelinos who have left for various reasons, because of work, the economy, disasters, So, it's just a matter of time that we'll see what's going to happen. I still have all my personal belongings in Los Angeles. They are safe. They're in a storage unit, but I have to deal with that when the time comes, and it's going to probably come very soon. So yes. Questions, please, anyone, for readings, because this is what I'm here for. And thank you for letting me talk for about 40 minutes about this. It's cutting into the time, but I'll stay here as long as I can. And you know what I should probably do, since no one's asking me a question yet. I'm going to shuffle these 3 decks. I'm going to pull one card from the Dreams of Gaia, from Tabula Mundi, and the Wild Unknown. Okay, I'm going to shuffle it, and let's just see with the energy. Let's do a collective reading. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm ready. I'm going to walk over and grab my water and then come back. And I want everyone to collectively be part of this reading. Let's put the energy in. Hello, Dave. Hello from Toronto. I know Toronto very well. So thank you for coming in and showing support. So let me step away for a second. Dave and Cheyenne, Emerald, Buddha, Debbie's 777. If any of you have any questions for a tarot reading, please let me know. If you'd like to leave a tip, that's fine. I also have links in the description. If you'd like to leave a donation for some of the organizations, tarot creator Liz Huston, who lost her home in the fire. I put her link there. She has a GoFundMe page that was set up for her. So if you have any questions, anything like that, let me know. Okay. If you have any questions about leaving a donation, just let me know. Okay. I'm going to be right back. All righty. Wow. I'm also coming out of a cold. I am much better than I was a few days ago. I had such a coughing fit. It left my throat very, very raw, very hard to communicate. So actually, before I do the reading, okay, I just want to share something astrological with you, with the decans. Okay, most of you know that I follow sidereal astrology versus tropical Western astrology. So I don't want to go into explaining everything, the differences. But as of today, Monday, January 13th, sidereally, we are now in the sign of Capricorn. And that's good. Keep drinking that Emerald Buddha. We just moved out of Sagittarius. We were in the last decan of Sagittarius. And what is interesting for me was last week, as we were moving into the last part of the last 10 days of the decan for Sagittarius. Okay, I want to show you this. And I want to show you this card here too. And I'm going to show you this card. Okay, so Sagittarius is fire. It's mutable fire. So mutable fire, mutability is where you need space to move around, to explore for your creativity, to see what's at the horizon. Now, when those fires started, I took the perspective of the fire of the energy. Okay, we're in Sagittarius, the last decan. The last decan, which was last week up until yesterday, the 12th, 10 of Wands oppression. Okay, which is Saturn, which is earth ruled, with that element of fire for Sagittarius. Now look what's happening here. Okay. It's a coincidence, but this is almost where things were, well, how things were happening in Los Angeles. Okay. It's just, and the week before, we were in this decan, swiftness. That's Mercury in Sagittarius. So Mercury deals with thought, communication, thinking, moving very quickly, and using this creative energy of Sagittarius. Now, I am at all not saying that this fire, the series of fires that's happening, is of a creative nature. And that, it's supposed to be something inspiring, which it isn't. But when you go through something as hard as that, sometimes here's the aftermath. You can look back and find during your darkest times that you can actually you get a new perspective. The fire literally is purging. It's destroying. It's destroying good and destroying bad. It's affected people in many different ways, destroying good and bad. So how do you take that energy? Okay, how do you take this Sagittarius energy that we had, our last decan? Okay, Saturn is weight. It's heavy. It's energy that doesn't move. Okay, and I'm feeling that this heaviness of the non-movement of trying to control, right? Something that we can't control, is what this 10 of Wands represents. Okay. And so there is something to learn from this. And that's just my point. That whenever there is a challenge coming from it, don't fight it. There's a reason why things are there. Things have happened. You know, I've gone through losses, and I've learned as I've gotten older, just I can't question it. It happens. I'm not going to waste this energy trying to understand why this happened, why me. No victim. It's just there. You're at the place where you need to be. So now we're in the sign of Capricorn as of today. Okay. And we are looking at this energy. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. It is a card of the devil, which is dealing with binds, personal binds that we have, afflictions that we may have placed upon ourselves, how things that we feel like we're shackled to. How do we work with this energy? Okay. I still have the cards here. Okay, let me look. I do not want to miss any of these comments. And thank you everyone who's coming in and out. I appreciate this. Cheyenne, shining. Okay. So you do, okay, that's fine. I could give like in a brief paragraph. The sidereal, and just like really quick, if I was to answer that question, the tropical astrology is based along the seasons. It's the axis, you know, how the earth rotates, right? Southern hemisphere right now, they're getting their summer here. They're, you know, we're still in winter. So we have the opposing energies. And so everything's seasonal for tropical astrology. That's why we get the signs for Western astrology, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, as the signs to represent the energy of spring. Summer's Cancer, summer is Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Virgo's the tail end of summer, early fall. And so basically the dates of the tropical astrology, they're pretty much the same. They're different by 1 or 2 days because of the precession. Okay. We are moving back in sidereal astrology. We are moving back 1 degree every 72, 74 years in signs. So in hundreds of years, thousands of years, the date, the sign that we associate who we are will actually be in the sign previous. So if you were born in the sign of Leo, sidereally, you are thousands of years, if there's anyone left, when that person is born, they're going to be in the sign of Cancer. And we see this in history, you know, the dates of when we were born could actually be quite different. So it's not quite a month difference. Sidereal, Vedic, as a rough guideline, is usually the middle of the month. So it's usually around the middle of the month to the next month. Okay, so like right now, we are in we just entered Capricorn. So from the 13th to the 23rd, that's our first decan in the sign of Capricorn. From the 23rd to count 10 days from there. This is something that I'm working with date-wise, to February 3rd, still Capricorn. February 3rd to the 13th or 14th, give or take a day, or 12th or 13th, I should say, is the last part of Capricorn. So roughly it's the middle of the month. So people who are cusps in tropical Western astrology, it's usually like the 20th, the 21st, 22nd, and then they move into the next sign. So, but with Western, it is backdated. by probably like anywhere from 10 to maybe 20 days, probably no more than 10, 15 days. Hi, Aspasia, Beth, hello. Um, so yeah, you'll see different dates for the Vedic, for the midpoint system. Um, these are both forms of sidereal astrology. The midpoint is created by Athen Chimenti, um, of Mastering the Zodiac. Those dates are in the middle. Vedic, if you look at Vedic astrology, you're going to see some people who are going to say May 14th, 15th is actually when the month of Taurus starts. You may see some dates that would say it's the 15th or 16th, so on and so forth. It's kind of hard because we get hung up on the dates, right? So if we're right in between, like that last day of, let's say, Virgo going to Libra, I ask people, well, when you were born, because the date changes, it could be the 21st or the 22nd or the 20th. When you were born, were you born when the sign was in Leo? Or I'm sorry, was in Virgo? Or are you saying that you're a Libra because of where you've seen some dates tell you that you're a Libra because of that birth date? So it's like leap year, right? Every 4 years. Let's see, for clarification, I mean, the difference between, yeah. Let's see. Dave, I'm sorry I missed you. Hang on. Do you have a fairy tarot oracle card? I don't. So the decks that I do have, I don't have any fairy decks. I'll just say that. I have the Forest of Enchantment, I take that back, which does incorporate the use of fairies and trolls and stuff like that. It's a nice deck. I use that deck. It's been a while though. I like to use that deck for young people, young adults, because some of the decks, or most of the decks that I have now, I've slimmed down quite a bit. They tend to be more esoteric, non-system decks. And so they may be hard for people to understand, but those are the decks that I like to work with. Let's see here. A month. Okay, yes, you are welcome. That's such a pretty deck. The Forest of Enchantment. It is. I look at that deck and I need to hold on to it. I don't read with it, as I mentioned, but I'd like to read with it if I'm put in a situation where there's going to be young adults, instead of, showing them, let me see here, showing them this card. Sorry, as I lean my face right into your face. How do you, well, I can explain this, I guess, to some teenagers, but I'm going to go into the alchemical imagery of it, the meaning of the eagle and the lion, um, of fire energy, air energy, working together, fire and water, coming in to blend in those different influences. That's going to go over their head. But yes, I went on a tangent. Sorry about that. You might like it. You know what? I think I've seen that deck, Beth. I'm going to look at it right now. Here, let me do this. The Forhaxa. It's like not Netherlands, it's Norse, right? Let me do Forhaxa Tarot. Let me see what we have here. Images. Sorry. I don't want to go on too many tangents. The Enchanted Forest. Is it this one? Oh, yes, it is Enchanted. Oh, by, MJ. Um, it's cute. I'll look at some of the images here. Oh, it's quite cute. The Fool. Um, I'm done with tarot decks, um, in the sense that I mean, the last one I got was the Telos 777. I do keep my eyes out, for decks, but I think at this point, I'm pretty much well set with the decks that I have. They work well enough for me so that I can rotate them in and out seasonally, which I do. Um, uh, but I like this. I like the fact that, as our seasons change, as we're getting closer to days getting longer, which has been very nice, um, that energy is shifting. And so with that energy shifting, I, of course, have to move with the energy of the decks of, going from our fall season of being really introspective and reflective, so on and so forth, of where we are in our life at this point in time. Um, and seeing where things are. um Now in winter, we take that energy and now we do something about it. Okay, the winter months is the time of creating, not releasing. Okay, we have reflection for the fall, creation and spot inspiration, and then when we have spring, what do we have? We release that. We show what we've been working on. We show the change that has happened in this time. It works for some people. Some people do it. They get it. And so that's where that focus is. And that's why I was saying earlier that I'm feeling this bulldozer. It literally feels like a bulldozer is slowly moving me in a direction that I don't know just yet. But things come to me, and I look at those signs. I watch for things that are happening. I look for the patterns. And I have to jump back because Emerald Buddha, I missed a comment here. This year, 2025, we're the year of the Hermit and the Moon. So that's the Hermit's ruled by the sign of Virgo, the Moon Pisces. Okay, those are the opposing signs for the Hermit and the Moon, Virgo and Pisces. I need to talk about that too. I'm gonna have to do another video. Let's see here. I'm very interested in what will be ending. So far, the beginning of this year can be indicative. I'm gonna leave this up here. Yes, the Hermit year. The Hermit is to represent the number 9, which is 2025 added up together. My card this year is the Hangman. And it's the Hangman and the Empress, if you want to reduce those numbers down. So, which is interesting because that's Venus energy with the Empress. And then I have Nuptone. I have Neptune for the Hangman energy. It's water. It's like deep, the unknown, the subconscious, what's really going on. That's the Hangman year, or the Hangman card. And then the Empress, Venus. It's like being aware of your environment, sustaining it, taking care of it. And the way I can interpret those two cards, for me, the Hangman, which is 12, and also the Empress, the 3 for Venus. Okay. It's almost like cleaning up the subconscious. Okay. Oh, I want it to be beautiful. I want it to be healthy. You want it to mean, it's like you want your subconscious to mean something to you. And that's how I'm feeling and interpreting that. you know, that kind of energy. So look into your cards, add up we have the 9 for guidance. So the Hermit is going to be, I was in my Hermit year, I think during the time of the lockdown, something like that. I think it was my Hermit card. Let's see, I have what, 12, 11, 10, 9. So 3 years ago, I think was my Hermit card. Let's see, it has a energy effects on a means to enchant, cast, or spell, or bewitch. Okay. Yeah, Beth, looking at those images there, it does have that energy. It's very light. It's quite different from what MJ has produced in the past, right? Because she's always worked with the crows, the dogs, and the cats. And this energy that I was looking at a moment ago, it's a little bit lighter. I don't know how to explain it just from what I saw. But yeah, no decks for me. I will, again, keep my feelers open, but I'm very happy with what I have and what to work with, because I feel there's a lot of information to pull from my decks. Your sun, oh, your Pisces Virgo moon, there you go. That is wonderful. That is something, Emerald Buddha, to learn from, you know, when you have that kind of, there are people who have like Taurus and Scorpio, they're opposing signs. They have that, like their sun is Taurus and their moon's Scorpio. You know, these are, even though they are opposing energies, there is something to learn from that. There's something to gain from that, an understanding of seeing the opposite. You're the star, so you're Aquarius. Okay, so when you see stuff like that, you know, start, you know, you can reduce the numbers down. I used to not reduce numbers, but I started doing it a few years ago, you know, to get like another added perspective of what's what these two cards can mean when you end up with a number that you can reduce down. But yeah, the Empress and the Hangman, beautiful card. Strength. Oh, that's right. Yes. Well, wait, the star is, yes, it can be strength depending on what system you're using. It could be strength, or because it's an 8 card, or it could be justice. I just came, that's my year right now. So, but I'm keeping the number as an 8. And I feel like I've had a little bit of the justice card in recent months. And also the 8 card came very strong for me. Another way that you can determine when do you want to start these birth cards. Do you want to start it at the new year, or do you want to wait on your birthday? Because right now I'm midway through my strength or justice year. And I'm looking at both of those, because we're also crossing over from a year of 8, 2024, to 9. So it's using that energy as well, you know. So when you're crossing over, when you're following your birth cards for the year, you know, just keep in mind the transition. Okay, so I'm coming from 2024 into 2025 from an 8 year, from a strength year, or a justice year, or adjustment, representing Libra energy. And just think during that time in 2024, whenever your birthday started, if it's in December, then, you know, you're going to take more of 2025 as an influence for you, from your birthday in December of 2024 to 2025. That's going to be the whole year. But when you're in the middle, like myself, I'm working with energy that was outgoing from the previous year and energy that I'm bringing in for this year. So now, since I'm halfway through mine, I'm now working with this energy that is probably in its fullest potential, because I'm halfway in, is this energy of the Hermit. Okay. The Hermit, it is a form of, turning inward and, finding that light within you. So I could take that influence of the Hermit and using that as a guide for my time as the hangman or the hanged person. Okay, I'm using this light to open up some stuff that's really deep-seated and stuff that I really need to pay attention to. So that's one way that you can interpret something like that. Justice. Okay. Oops. Sorry. The star. Do you still have Spirit the cat? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. Spirit's here. He's sleeping. I fed him before we did the live, so it has been a while, but he is here. We went on a road trip a week and a half ago up north, and he did very, very well. And I could have left him with someone to take care of him, but we really needed some quality time together, and so it seems to have helped our relationship quite a bit. You're the Chariot. Okay. So you're 7 straight up. So if you are, I think from 10 to 21 or 22, if you want to count the full as 22, from the 10 of the major arcana to the 21st or 22nd of the major arcana, if you want to reduce those numbers down, that's where you could find your double card. Right? If you are 9 and above, I would just stick to the single digits. It's not that it's any less important, but I feel that the number that you get once it's been reduced down, or if it can't be reduced, that's the number that you would stay with. Let's see. You always wait till your birthday. Yeah, I feel that's the best way to do it. Though there are sometimes signs where your upcoming card can reveal the signs of something that may be happening. I don't know. Look into that. But yeah, but don't, you can look at it for a moment, but just don't get lost into it. So like I was saying, since I'm in the middle of my birth card year, I'm still carrying over energy of strength, justice, and and going into the Hermit year. So I feel when I come to my birthday in May, I think that's when the hanged person's energy, the hangman energy, becomes very apparent. That's your lesson, that's your sign, that's your gift that we need to work with. So I'm gonna more than likely do it like that. There's so many different ways. Okay, I got some decks. I've been here for an hour. Let me know about readings. Okay, so again, for those who are watching, I've already talked almost 40 minutes about the changes that I'm aiming for with this channel. Some things about starting courses, creating courses online, doing podcasting, and focusing more on that energy. Because I had a friend of mine, some of you know her, through the Peacock's Eyes, Julianne Victoria. She read my chart, but we did it from the Vedic perspective. And I kept feeling like this was a year, or this is a year where communication is very strong. I feel like there's something communication-wise that is that I need to bring out forward. Okay. And so she said by just looking at this year that spiritually things are going to be really becoming more aware. There's like an awareness that's going to be happening with me, if not starting already, that's going to influence the direction of all of this. How I read, how I introduce myself, readings to people, so on and so forth. So I'm feeling this, that there is a change that is needed. And I'm coming up to a Saturn return, which I am actually looking forward to. Saturn returns are, they're not everything to be scared of. I think the first Saturn return, for the most part, which is like around between 28, 29, and usually 1 or 2 years before, you start getting signs and omens of things that are leading towards that. And that's what's happening with me. And I feel that this return is going to be something that I will be applying things that I have learned in the previous 28, 29 years. And it's something where it needs to be shared with others. Okay. There's no skeletons in the closet, that kind of communication, but there is this need to really dig deep with some things, and to discuss certain topics with people, and getting feedback from individuals, and putting some inspiration, some influence into the way that things have been done, and that it is a time for change. Things have been very Plutonian for me, Pluto. And it's not like I'm doing a lot of this destruction to end, but it's coming to the point of where things need to end, of patterns, and that's what I'm saying. This Saturn return that's coming up is going to show that. It's going to show what I've learned in the past and what I'm going to be doing from here on end, but at a deep level. Can't put it into words. Just can't put it into words. But like I said, it's going to affect everything that I do. So let me see here. If you have the time and energy for a message for me. Of course. Cheyenne, of course. Okay. Anyone else who's coming in, if you have a desire for me to pull some cards, I will. But Cheyenne, I'd like you to help me, okay? What I'd like you to help me with is, you're going to tell me which deck to read from. Okay, what do you feel? Because when I read in person, I tend to have more than 2 decks around, and depending on the energy of the person and what's going on with them, I sometimes like them to choose the deck. Okay, so if you're familiar with the deck, that's great. If you're not, just go by the energy that you feel. Okay, so I'm going to show you the backs of the cards, and you tell me which one. Oh, you want the Wild Unknown? Okay, you got it. I was going to say, do you want me to read with this one? or this one. But you mentioned the wild unknown, which this is. Let me know with those other two decks that I showed you if you still want me to read with the wild unknown, and I will. I'm just going to have to shuffle it a little bit more because I cleansed it. Part of my cleansing with decks is that I put it back in order. So everything is all cleansed with this deck and in order. So I'm going to have to shuffle it a little bit. So Cheyenne, do you want me to do the wild unknown, or do you want me to work with one of those two other decks? Let me know. Okay. This will give me some time to shuffle. So for those who missed earlier, I've been working with smaller decks in recent weeks. I don't know. Well, I keep saying I don't know why, but I do know why. I'm feeling like I need a bigger story when I do readings. The first one seemed to be glowing. This has to be this one. So do you want me to read with this one? You let me know. There's no right or wrong deck. Okay, here we go. You got it. Okay. Anyone else too who's watching? Thank you for coming in. If anyone's watching in the LA area, Southern California area, please let me know. I'm originally from Los Angeles, so I'm dedicating this live edition of this live to what's going on down south. I'm in Oregon, so I'm no longer in California, but I am very much heartbroken by what's happened, or what is still happening over there. So if you are in Southern California, or please let me know, and let me know that you're okay or what's going on. Also, if you'd like to have a reading, I'm here for you all the way. I put in some donation links of a friend in Los Angeles who lost her house and her belongings, her art. I put in a link for animal rescue with Best Friends of Los Angeles. They just shipped out a cargo of cats and dogs, I believe, to Utah, so that they have a place to be saved, because if they aren't, some of the shelters in Los Angeles will destroy them. So they got shipped to, I believe it was Utah, maybe one other state, for safety until their owners can find them. And the animals are just another part of this whole process when something like this is going on. Oh, Beth, I didn't know. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's good that they're safe, Beth. Yeah, it's just that I have a friend in Hollywood. He had to evacuate, and he went downtown to stay until it was safe. I think he's back there. That's great, Beth, that they're safe. I'm certain that must have been nerve-wracking for you as well. You know, they're near it. Wow. It is amazing. Los Angeles is one of the most heavily populated cities in the U.S. And people come from all corners of the states, from the world, and there are people who do have a connection down to Los Angeles when you really think about it, and that's why this is probably hitting hard with a lot of folks outside of California, because once upon a time they used to live there. or they know people that are there. You know, it's a city that is with connections to everything, entertainment, music. It's, yeah. Okay, so Cheyenne, here are 3 cards. Okay. Oh, first one already flipped over. Okay, I'm just gonna do a general, all right, and just see where we are. Oops, one card fell on my lap. Okay, got 2 fire cards here. What's this one? All righty. Okay, so give me a moment. I got 2 fires, and this is the Dreams of Gaia. So the Dreams of Gaia doesn't follow RWS. It all works with the elements of earth, air, fire, water. Okay. I had talked about inspiration, about the energy of fire, how fire is destructive, but it is also something of purging and of clearing and releasing, but also of creativity and inspiration. First card I have here for you, I have 7 of fire. Okay, so I have to take a minute and throw away my mindset of how I'm feeling about fire right now. Okay, and here with the Dreams of Gaia, our 7 of fire is looking at this inspiration that is inside of us and how it is manifesting outward. Okay. And we have the 2 felines there. This is an instinctual call. Remember I was saying moments ago that I'm feeling a bulldozer pulling me towards something. This card, in a sense, is asking you to follow your driving force. Is there something that is pushing you towards something that is of an external nature, something that is that's wanting to reveal yourself in an outward fashion, the way that you present yourself, the way that you are maybe doing your art, anything like that. Okay. This is a card that is just fueled by desire and inspiration. I'm going to move forward because we have the snake there. Okay. The snake is of wisdom, but it's also, this card here is also telling me that with the 2 cats, the instinctual side is telling you this feels right. The snake, this fiery kundalini energy is moving, and it's like it's happening. You know, let's make this movement. Let's start producing something with this energy. We're stepping forward. Okay, we're stepping forward. Okay, we're accepting. We are feeling. We are acknowledging everything that's happening right now with this card. Okay, so this is our 7 of fire. Other card, Ace of Fire. Look at this here. This is the potential that's just waiting to come out and start creating, but doing the work. This card here is the initiatory spark to move in the direction of what is fully inspiring you. Okay. It has to feel right, which in this card, it's telling you it feels right. And energy, it's just that calling, something to go out with. And our spider, the web that is weaved by this spider, it's the one that is filled with dedication showing that potential. Okay, remember, we're moving this energy outward. Okay, I'm going to put these two cards together so you could see them. There we go. Expressive energy, outward energy. Okay, so how do we do this when we're moving into the year of the Hermit? Cheyenne, I don't know if you put down, I don't think you did, what your birth card is. You know, what's your archetype for this year of 2025? Because you can use that card as well as a guide, as an influence for all of this creative force moving inward and outward. Oops, I want to place it like this so you can see this. Full acceptance. It's a power card. It's an embracing card. It's also a card of trust. Then our last card here. In the dreams of Gaia, there are 3 stages of life that Raven Phelan describes, and she writes in her book. This card here is showing a youthful individual, but someone who's taking charge of who they are. We have what looks to be like a dog or a wolf. Okay, so this is again inner instincts, inner trust. Excuse me. This is about loyalty and remaining dedicated. Excuse me. I'm going to hold this up while I drink water. Remaining loyal and dedicated to the direction, the path that you're going to. Stay on it. Stay on the course of what you feel is moving, okay? I was hoping this wasn't going to happen. Excuse me. I may have to stop short here. My apologies. Stay on course. If you're feeling, again, this inspiration, this outward energy, and you feel that it is moving in a set direction, stay on it, follow it. Don't second guess. That's some of the things I tell people. Don't second guess yourself. Because as soon as you do that, you're changing that energy. You're changing that energy of momentum. So imagine you have this energy that's being fueled, okay? It's going towards this. And then you're like, ooh, I don't know. I'm getting kind of cold feet. And then this energy just stops. So you're starting to extinguish. You're starting to put the air. You're starting to smother that energy. And the more you keep doing it, the more it's going to smother. And you're never going to get to that point. We need to keep this energy moving forward. Stay on the path. Trust your instincts. I'm taking this reading for myself as well with everything that I have been discussing about these changes that I want to do with this channel and introducing courses and podcasting and all of this. It's really important not to second guess yourself and just do it. For this year, it's the Devil card. I think if I reduce the Lovers, yes, you can do that as well. Okay, so I am unsure if I need to reduce it. I'll look at both. Okay, so with our Devil card, that gives us 6. Okay, because Devil card's 15. And in some cards of the Devil, funny enough, because the devil is ruled by Capricorn. All right, we don't see it here, but the devil card does show in some decks, especially Rider-Waite-Smith inspired decks and a few Doth decks. We do see what is some people say is the fall of the lovers, okay? Because we see the angel embracing the connection of the lovers, but then when you add the 15, right, to get that 6 card, we get the devil, and then we see in the RWS, we see what could be the lovers couple, but in a situation where, you know, it went the wrong way. And so we have to be careful and see those two sides, okay? Capricorn, Earth, Saturn, Devil, restrictions, limitations. It could be the environment that you're in, stuff that you pose upon yourself, but it's also of time. It's also a card of maturity. It's asking you to be mature about whatever's happening at this time. It is also a card of karma. The Devil card is about that, you know, actions that we've done. Quite different from the Wheel of Fortune, which is also a karma card, but it's a card of actions that have led us to where we are. And how does this wheel turn in our favor or against us based on what we've done? Okay, so that's something to take into consideration. So the Devil card, ruled by Saturn again. So we could look at this energy. I could throw out the energy of the Capricorn of being work ethic, traditional. They are known to be workaholics. They enjoy working. They can't, you know, they need to be working for something or towards something. Capricorn energy is someone who has that understanding of Saturnian energy, structure, limitations, being hard on themselves, which is not great, but they can be hard on themselves. But it is something to learn from. If it's something that you feel that you don't have, you know, that's what we can take into consideration for you. Okay, so maybe with these 2 fire cards that I pulled for you, okay, and this, you know, being self-dedicated and trusting yourself and being loyal and staying on that path, whichever journey you're moving towards, hopefully it's in the direction of inspiration, towards something specific. That Devil card can maybe put structure and organization and order into where you want to go, okay? Because fire is just what it is. Fire is going to go all over the place, as you've seen, and it's hard to contain, okay? And so when it's not controlled, it's going to go. That's where the Sagittarius energy of what I was mentioning earlier about the 10 of Wands, the last week of the decan of Sagittarius, the decan being ruled by Saturn, during the week of the fires in Los Angeles when they started. So we need to see the best way to handle this kind of energy. Okay, the destruction that's going on in Los Angeles is beyond comprehension. And right now they're doing the best that they can to control. Firefighters are coming in. We got the water, okay? We're getting the actual physicalities of the action of the fighter, sorry. I will relate that to earth, air, fire, water, individual who's taking charge of this, using his strength, using his knowledge, using his feelings, but also earthwise, stand strong and be focused and, you know, create this foundation to do the job that they need to do. So I feel those energies of the firefighters represent all four of those elements to help power down these flames. And we have to see what's going to happen with air, okay? Because the winds are being said that they're going to start up again. So we have to be careful with that energy of what's going on with air. And I believe when those fires started, I think we were moon in Taurus, or maybe it was in Aries around that time. But anyhow, let me see here. Yeah. So work with the Lovers, representing Gemini, and work with the Devil card, which represents Capricorn. Work with their characteristics, their strengths and weaknesses, and apply that to where you need to focus the most with this reading that I did for you, this fiery creative energy. You're so welcome. You are so welcome, Cheyenne. Thank you. So again, this is from the Dreams of Gaia. You got the 7 of Fire. One of Fire, or Ace of Fire. So this is our creative inspiration, our potential. And then we got the 3, which is one of the part of the stages of the 3 stages that we go through the Dreams of Gaia by Raven Phelan. The way that she has the first part of the deck, not really major arcanas, but she has it set up as, I think there's like 26 or 28 different archetypes that start from birth to adulthood and then to our elder years. Very important. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else interested in a reading? I'll stick around a little bit longer. Just seeing how my voice is going to hold up. Still fighting off this cold, but I'm feeling much better. Let me know, okay? Any questions? Please let me know. Let me see here. So I did make mention earlier that I was going to pull a card from each, 3 cards, but one from each of the decks. So we'll do a multi-deck reading. Okay, I want to do this. Okay, one more. Okay. So we covered quite a bit of ground today. Not so much readings, but we covered a little bit about the basics of what Western tropical astrology is and sidereal astrology. Very, very basic. When I get when I get these courses put together, I will touch upon the astrology aspect. I have a dry erase board over here, which you can't see, that I'm pointing at, that has 4 main topics I want to hold courses on. And within those topics, we're going to focus on the specifics of these topics. I'm not going to say what it is yet, but it's going to be a lot of work. And I want to make it very straightforward and very easy for those to understand and to follow, and to also see a different perspective of the tarot and some of the different modalities, different perspectives that you can put into the tarot, including the decans. Decans is going to be a big one. I will have an intro to tarot, very basic, as And I'm still thinking about that because there's so many intro to tarot courses. You know, I want to do something very different. Okay. I want to do something very different. I'll accept this card that flipped over as I was shuffling. And to teach it in a different way, you know? So stay tuned for that, in other words. Thank you, Cheyenne. I think it's just you and me right now. Okay, so here is, already got the one card for the Dreams of Gaia. I'm going to keep talking, see what comes up with the Tabula Mundi. This is the Tabula Mundi deck. I have the full-size version of it, and when I got the Tellus Tarot, which is this one. This is our card here, Capricorn. Happy birthday to all the Capricorns from January 13th to February 12th, 13th. M.M. Moline, who's the creator of these two decks, this one and the Telos, she had a special offer on one of her smaller decks of the Tabula Mundi, and I was just like, I gotta get this because I really like the large version. I think a small version would be great to have. So I got in, I got bitten back into the small pint size tarot decks. Okay. All right, let me get a card for this one here. Okay, what's our general collective reading? This one. Oh, there we go. Okay, got that card out. Now our wild unknown. That's what we have here. Very grateful that you are here on YouTube. Thank you, Cheyenne. Thank you. Oop. This one almost flipped over. You can see it here. Oh, yeah. So this is wonderful because I have these cards are definitely connecting to Earth. Let me drink some water here in case I have a coughing fit again. Okay. So I have two cards here related to Earth and then one card related to the element of water. Okay. So this is our Queen of Cups. Okay, so we have a court card here. Court cards are representational of our different states of maturity. Okay, we have our page, knight, queen, and king. There's what's it? Son, daughter, mother, father with the wild unknown. There are different court representations for the court cards. But here with our Queen of Cups, this is, and I'm going to move a little bit closer so you can see this. All right, so we have the reflection of ourselves. How do we see ourselves? Okay. This is more of an emotional perspective of us or of a situation. Okay. So these three cards that I pulled here, or that I have pulled, this is for everyone, this reading. And so Queen of Cups, we have what looks to be almost like a phoenix rising, but not quite. And so we're seeing this connection to ourselves. This is almost like the emotional spirit rising upward. So in a sense, almost a phoenix from the flame, but a phoenix from the emotions. The transformation. How are we seeing ourselves? Our lotus, which is a full spiritual awareness, connection. This is someone who is very sensitive and well connected to who they are. And in the background, we have the sun rising or setting. I want to say rising. And it's this moment of understanding that we have these different stages of our emotional self, and this moment of how we can heal aspects of ourselves. This is a card of emotional maturity. We understand how we can work through certain situations. And how we could be more sensitive about things. The Queen of Cups can be associated with the sign of Scorpio. And Scorpio, we know, is a very impassioned, emotional sign. But here, with the element of water for water, this is how we are feeling intuitively inside in every way. It's a sense of wholeness, okay? Again, maturity. It's how we understand ourselves and how we feel. So important, this card. So this is a card that I hope can speak to most of you. You know, emotionally, how do you see yourself? Things are hard for a lot of people right now, but readers like myself and quite a few, many others, we are sending messages out so that we could see the flip side of things, okay? And that you can see that there is a means to a way that can end to something that is greater and better for you, okay? And that's, again, what the Queen of Cups wants us to understand. What desires, what influences us? Very important. Okay, next card I got, this is from the Dreams of Gaia. This is our Earth card. Let me move here so you can see. So this is our Two of Pentacles. Look at the stillness. This card here represents the energy of remaining grounding or remaining grounded during times of challenge, times of responsibilities. How do we move through things? Are we nervous? Are we shaking as the coins are being tossed? As the things that hold a lot of value to us, that we're trying to take responsibility? How are we working with all of this energy? Okay. We're being asked here to move in a steady fashion. Not going back, not going forward, not moving, not being chaotic, not being all over the place. This is about taking control and charge of ourselves. So when someone says to you, things are going nutty in their life, and they say, I got this. I can move through this, okay? And we start seeing the actions taking place of someone who is moving through the ebbs and flows of whatever's going on, okay? You gotta know how to move sturdy, straightforward, have a strong foundation. All of you can do this. I know all of you can do this. But if you don't want to do it, or you're scared to do it, or you don't have that certainty of what's going to happen and you don't do anything, okay, you're dropping the ball. Don't drop the ball. Okay. We've done that. We've done that. But when you drop the ball, you got to take responsibility for whatever happens. Okay. Here, this is a preventative of that. I want you to remain, again, dedicated and trusting and knowing that whatever is happening right now, you can move through it. Okay. Check in with yourself every now and then, but know that you can move through this. Okay. And how about challenging yourself and see and impress yourself? Don't impress others, impress yourself that you did this. Okay. There's no one that you have to prove anything to. Not even your boss, your parents, your husband, your boyfriend. You just got to prove stuff to yourself. Okay, next card, all earth again. Here's another court card. Mother, also maturity of pentacles. Look at this. This is security at its best. Again, the mother and the kings are the highest forms of maturity in the court cards. How did we evolve? And how do we use this energy to show people that the work that you've done, the efforts that you've made, has produced some form of stability for you? Okay. Now, the way that you can work through that will come in many different forms. Okay. And there's going to be times where you are going to feel like, I can't do this. It's too hard. It's too much. And what happens is you start thinking, okay? I almost want to say, don't think, just do. But sometimes you have to think before you do something. But in those cases, just be mindful of what's going on. This is all about honesty. And I think there's a lot of people in this world who cannot be honest with themselves. Okay? Honest with yourself can include, yes, I'm weak in this area. Okay? Or I'm strong in this area. And you know it. Okay? But what are we doing to keep this energy moving, working on those weaknesses? Holding the strength in those areas that are strong. Okay? What can we do? Okay? And this is what these two cards here in particular are telling us about. There's stability, but stability is coming through responsibility, our actions, and how we take care of ourselves. Mother of Pentacles, security. Ultimately, when you have this sense of security can be within yourself, but also can be material as well. Okay? How much work and effort are we putting towards our desires, towards ourself, towards our betterment? There's a lot of people, a lot of folks that talk a lot and don't follow through. Or eventually they do follow through and, they get to where they need to do. But there are some people who just talk, complain, and that doesn't that kind of energy, especially the complaining and the anger and whatnot. We all do it. I've done it. I do it. But also take responsibility for what you're saying. Okay? Because that's an aspect of ourselves that we need to address. Right? So that's some food for thought whenever we're complaining about something. But also, too, I don't want you to be, overly grateful. And I do hear people who are like, I'm so grateful. I got this, I got this, I got this. It's almost like they're using those words as an umbrella. Okay? Right? So you're grateful, but what are we doing to keep moving forward? Are we applying this gratefulness into some other things, to someone else, so that other people can benefit, and that we can grow and have this gratitude invested into some other things. Okay. So those are some thoughts there for you. Okay. So really quickly, I am going to end because it seems to be very quiet, and that's totally fine. Let me, okay. Look at this here. Okay, so 2 of Earth, dreams of Gaia. Okay, look at this card. Remember what I was talking about. What do you see in this card for you? Okay. Tabulamundi, our Queen of Cups, taking charge of our emotions. Knowing when our cup is empty, knowing when our cup is too full and it's overflowing, knowing the right amount of feelings that are in this cup. The cup is us. The right amount to put in that can make us feel whole. This is what the Queen of Cups is. Not too much, not too little. Okay? We don't want the cup runneth over. We don't want the cup dry either. We want a nice balanced amount. Okay? And then, of course, the maturity. These 2 cards go hand in hand. They're from different decks, but the message speaks strongly. The environment I live in has lots of deers, and I hold such great respect for the deers, the bucks, the does, the fawns. They're very regal, they're very soft, but they're also very connected to themselves, their security. Deer, for me, represents forms of security. Where they go, what they do to protect themselves and their family and their surroundings. That's the same kind of aspect that you could take to yourself. Okay, Mother of Pentacles. It's feminine energy, so is the Queen of Cups. Ultra feminine water and water energy. Mother of Pentacles. And actually, you know what? For the first time, I did not even see this. I did not even recognize, because of the darkness and the way the image blends in. I just saw that that's a baby deer there. So, should have been obvious with the Mother of Pentacles, but again, we have the protection and the nurturing of this. I just saw that. I probably saw it with the large card, the larger version of this that I have, but I didn't see it with this card here. Alrighty. All right, so for those who've been hanging on for almost 2 hours, I am going to end it here. I want to thank you for just hanging out and letting me speak. Letting me speak for about 45 minutes about how I'm feeling with what's going on. In Los Angeles, the fires, that city's going to be fine. It's going to be strong. It has gone through things before disasters, and it has recovered. But one thing I will say is the city will not be the same. And I'm not talking about physically, but emotionally, economically, there's going to be a lot of redirection with Los Angeles coming from this. So that could be good, right? As I mentioned a few times, fire is all about purging. Earthquakes shake things up. It's just to awake people, awake those in the surrounding areas of what's going on with the destruction. Changes that need to be made, okay? For protection, for the land, for the individual, the economy, so on and so forth. When something like this happens, it is a wake-up call, okay? So over the next few weeks, we have a lot of stuff that's happening. News-wise, we're going to get a new POTUS. And we have a lot of shifts happening in social media. A lot of power, a lot of shifting power is going to be happening. So we will see what's happening. Okay. And you just have to hang tight. All right. So thank you again, everyone. You have a wonderful evening, and feel free to keep in touch. As I mentioned, there is going to be some shifts here. I will be putting up some content, but the content's going to slowly be moving in direction of what I've been previously doing. I may do a live reading every now and then. I may just pop up and do a reading like I did here. But again, I have some stuff I want to focus on and explore and stuff. So I've already changed the name of this channel. I may change it again. We will see. But right now it's going to be a Mystic Rose Tarot podcast, and I'm going to explore topics for that and how I can move this channel to be podcasts that people can listen to by ear, and also seeing about maybe doing it so that people can view and watch as I talk. I do want to have guests, but that will come at some point later on. Okay. So to everyone in Los Angeles, Emerald Buddha, thank you for being here. I'm guessing you are not anywhere near the fires, thank goodness. But for those who are, my heart just know is just, I'm floored, but also know that you have the strength and we need to move forward. Again, I put links in the description if you want to leave a donation to any of those or any other fundraisers that are out there. Just be careful, because we're already seeing it. It's not even a week since the fires. There's already scammers and who are jumping in on this, and they're going to earn their place somewhere, someplace very special for them. They're going to earn a home permanent for doing stuff like this. So on that note, I will be in touch. I will see you all again soon. Okay. Thank you again. Have a great night, everyone.